The Brewhouse was created to capture and share with you the long history of the Genesee Brewery. But the brewery itself isn't half as interesting as the beer and the people who make it. Visit GeneseeBrewhouse.com.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brewhouse. I am once again, still not Bill Pucko, he has another week off. I'm Toby Motyka filling the seat, and I looked really, really far away to find someone to fill Mike Catalana's seat. 13 WHAM Sports is Jenna Cottrell. Thanks for joining us again. Pat Duffy, 96.5 WCMF.
Why do you say it like that?
I just felt like
He's here. I hate it.
Surprise!
Gonna do a thing now.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah.
I
Happy
like
to
the
be
jersey
here.
again. And Paul Gotham, PickandSplinters.com, joining us this week in the guest seat.
Happy to be here.
Let's start with something I saw you at on Tuesday, Red Wings. Getting the season started. Dad jokes out of the way, they have a new lease on life. All right, we're done with that. 10-year lease at least, that we don't have to worry about that. Did this season, though, kind of sneak up on us, this Red Wings season? I feel like maybe the weather, or for whatever reason, all of a sudden, there's baseball.
It did seem to sneak up, and certainly we had all those talks in the offseason that the Red Wings might not be here, and maybe that's why it kind of caught up to us. But Slager's starting on the hill, and we got Zach Granite bat. Gotta like the chances for the Red Wings this year, right?
How much do we care about the players who come back? I feel like we've had a lot of top prospects kind of roll through Rochester recently, and that's been nice. But this year, there aren't as many of those top-name guys. But do people really care when they're just going to a ball game?
Well, normally I don't, and I'll be honest with you. I didn't really care about the prospects coming up because Minnesota is so far away, and other than Buxton, there aren't a lot of top-name prospects. Right. I will tell you what shocked me is the Wings put out their digital roster online the other day, and the amount of guys they have that will play significant roles that have had significant major league time is astounding. I mean, Duffy, for example, by the way, one of my favorite players, he was up all year last year, right, in Minnesota, and now he's back down starting.
Year before, pretty much, too.
I would much rather have guys with major league experience that know how to win, know how to be part of a ball club, than a guy coming up from single A or double A ball when it comes to winning baseball games.
And you have to figure at some point a lot of these guys are in fact going to go to Minnesota because it's life as a minor league team. You're going to lose guys to call-ups. But I feel like when you get major league guys signing, that's generally because they know they're probably going to get an opportunity, right?
And that's the thing, seeing guys like Zach Granite, one of the last cuts for the Twins, coming back down here once again. And these are guys that kind of, they have a connection to Rochester. They're playing here once again, and they're just fun. They're fun to watch. They're fun talking to the media, and it makes it a little bit more approachable for the fans to really get to know these guys and get to see that they are a good group.
Now, there's much less of a get off my lawn contingent on this side of the table today. But last week, Mike and Kevin were kind of yelling about things like the net, things like a runner starting on second to start extra innings. Those are some of the changes we're going to see. Do you think any of these changes, Paul, are really going to affect the way that people view these games?
Not really. Well, in fact, with the net being extended and the number of us who are looking at our handheld devices, it might help us in those situations, because I've been in a couple situations where a foul ball comes screaming over the dugout and people aren't paying attention. That could be potentially dangerous. So I'm happy for that. The runner starting at second, how long is it going to take for a manager to make the move and put in the speedy, light-hitting guy in the right spot of the order so that he can be on second starting that 10th inning there. We'll see how that goes.
There's going to be so much bunting when you get into the 10th inning. Like
That's the thing, yeah. That's what I don't like. The Nets thing, I get. You have to think of the general audience of Frontier Field. There's a lot of, like you're saying, people looking at their phones. There's young children. And the foul ball doesn't care. So that makes sense to me. But the starting on second, I don't like that. And it's interesting because you know me, I'm not like baseball to me sometimes is a little too slow. But even that, I feel like as a competitive person, as a team, I wouldn't like that.
No, but see, Jenna, you're looking at it very micro, not the macro that you should be. The point that was just brought up. No, it's not just a guy starting on second. It's how the folks in the powers that be now have to adjust to this legitimate rule, which I think makes, if you're in a close game, the 7th, 8th, 9th inning more entertaining when it comes to who is batting where, when the pitcher's coming out. Oh, but please, with your Syracuse education, tell me why I'm wrong, Jenna.
I'm just saying. I mean, it absolutely does change the strategy completely. But as someone who's sat there and watched 9 innings of a baseball game, I want to see who the true winner is. I don't want it to be just based on, this little bit of strategy.
Yes, tell that to my 7-year-old daughter whose shirt is full of ice cream and I want to catch the end of this game. Yes, I would love to sit here for 15 innings while the chocolate is solidifying and ants are slowly crawling up her face.
That's your fault.
We'll declare a true winner of this one later.
The foul ball, because it don't care.
Does it? Where's the lie?
The Bills and Baker Mayfield. Talking football coming up next on the Rochester Press Box.
The Press Box, brought to you in part by Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Call 262-COMP, C-O-M-P, today.
Hey, welcome back to the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House. This segment brought to you by Connors and Ferris. And guys, the Buffalo Bills, we all know they're thinking about moving up in the draft. No matter what they say, they want that quarterback. Todd McShay, ESPN, says he's hearing a lot of chatter that could be to 2nd overall. He thinks that would be to take Josh Allen, but take who they're picking out of it. Do you think getting up to number 2 is viable?
Well, I mean, okay, what's viable? Define viable. If you've come this far, why not go all the way to 2? But there's something that's scaring me with Bills fans. This idea that getting up into the top 5 is a guaranteed success. It's not, right? Let's look at the 83 draft, the greatest quarterback draft of all time. Elway, Marino, Kelly. You also had Ken O'Brien and Tony Easton and Todd Blackledge. And by the way, the best quarterbacks, other than Elway, were the ones that were taken late in the draft. And Elway didn't even play for the team that drafted him. There is no guarantee that giving up the capital they're going to have to give up, and it's going to be a lot, to get to 2, 3, 5, whatever it is going to lead to not only immediate success, but success eventually. And you saw how bad it is when you miss on J.P. Lossman in the 20s or E.J. Manuel at 16. When you miss in the top 5 and you give up first-round picks for multiple seasons to do so,
Does the signing of A.J. McCarron make this a little less of a must, though? I hate to say that because we don't even know if A.J. McCarron's an upgrade on Tyrod Taylor.
I think that's the thing. We don't really know. He is still kind of that outlier. I think if the Bills are going to do it, I think they're going to have to be a little Eagles-esque and make another 2 trades to get into that top 5 position. But even then, they're going to have to give up a lot of their capital to get there. I think there's a lot on the line. But this Bills team knows that they have to get the quarterback. I think this is the first true draft for Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott as well. They know, and I'm pretty confident in them being able to build a team. We saw that last year. They took a lot of free agents. They had a lot of one-year deals. That they can build a team, but they know they need to start with a quarterback.
Let's talk about Josh Allen. That seems to be the guy that a lot of people have linked the Bills to for about a month now. But they're bringing in Baker Mayfield. They've had their eyes on who knows for such a long time. This has been a team that has been very good at disguising things. But they're having another interview with Baker Mayfield. They've already done it at the Combine. A lot of people wonder, is this a Sean McDermott type of guy? Do you think maybe that's what they're trying to figure out by doing all these interviews with him?
Well, certainly Baker Mayfield, all the comparisons are out there to Johnny Manziel, and that could implode that way. But I would like to think with Brandon Beane's little bit of a run here of success, that'll be a more well thought out decision wherever he goes, whether it be Allen, whether it be Mayfield. And I think it'll be a decision that he makes that will be well thought out and work for them.
I love Baker Mayfield personally. He's always been that guy that from walk-on to Heisman winner. His teammates love him. I know a lot of other people hate him that aren't on his team, but I get the hunch that he could be a McDermott guy.
I mean, it all depends on what McDermott's looking for. When it comes to attitude, like this nonstop, I'm going to go until I die, yeah, he's a McDermott guy. But, there's that story the other day, which makes me nervous as a media member.
The star thing.
Well, yeah, he keeps a list of people, media members that he feels have wronged him, right?
So Jerry Sullivan will be on his list.
Well, all of us will be on that list. It's like, I'm not going to stop going away from him. I don't want that. But, I mean, you can look at these things as benefits, or you can look at these things as negatives. And if he's successful, he's cutthroat and killer, and that's what you want. Yeah. If he is a failure, the guy's been a psycho the whole time, and I can't believe McDermott. You can make an argument either way, whether it's not McDermott's guy.
He does seem like a McDermott guy. Just when you talk about the fact that he was a walk-on, he earned the starting role. Of course, Sean McDermott himself was a walk-on in college, and the fact that he has the respect of his teammates, and I think he's been able to kind of explain his side of the story in terms of the antics that have been a part of his past. And I think, Sean McDermott might get locked in and see what he wants to see, which a lot of people do that with different prospects through the draft. But I think if you look at the fabric of what has made him successful, a walk-on to a Heisman, McDermott loves that.
Less than 3 weeks, we'll finally know the final answer. Like it or not, coming up next on the Rochester Press Box.
Here's the Press Box trivia question, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390. Here's the Press Box trivia answer, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390.
Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. Like it or not, Duffy, the Sabres calling up Alex Nylander for the final few games of the season.
First round pick from last season. Yeah, I like it a lot. And there are a lot of people that say Nylander didn't earn it because his season in Rochester, the last two actually, have been pretty disappointing. Listen, I watched Nylander play at the World Juniors Tournament. I watched him live every game that he played in. He is fast. You can make an argument that the World Juniors Tournament is faster than what he's playing in the AHL, and for whatever reason, that game is not translated in Rochester. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's busting, right? There are guys that you've seen, Nick Baptiste just recently, where his play in Rochester has been subpar compared to when he gets the time up in Buffalo. You could even make that same argument for Justin Bailey, where fans in Rochester are frustrated with Justin Bailey, yet Bailey has, I want to say, like 6 goals in 13 games in Buffalo.
He's played well.
When you give them the time on a legitimate hockey team, and okay, I know it's the Sabres, but...
Air quotes. Yeah.
But,
Air quotes.
yes, I mean... Next year, I think you have to make a decision on Nylander, what you're going to do. You have to sign him to a contract, give him a little time in Rochester, or in Buffalo, let him earn his spot coming out of camp next year. But, yeah, I mean...
What do you have to lose? You have a few games just to see what he can do. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, like it or yeah, it is. Like it or not, Jenna, the Patriots trading away Brandon Cooks, 2 first-round picks to try and go get Odell Beckham Jr. from the Giants.
I don't think that would happen, to be honest, because here's my thought process. There was already those reports coming out last year, the fact that the Patriots were having internal issues between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. If you want to add in the personality, I'm actually not even going to use quotes. The diva personality of Odell Beckham Jr. I just think that's a mix for a terrible, everything off the field translating on the field. I get it. He's a really talented receiver. He's also coming off an injury. He's also had a lot of headaches in terms of the antics that he brings to the table. I don't think the Patriots are interested.
So they almost never keep 2 first-round picks. Like, they almost never have them, number one. But the one thing we know about the Patriots is they're not going to use the picks on draft day like they are presented the day before the draft. So... is this quarterback in play for them now? Do we have to worry about them jumping up in front of the Bills, perhaps, to take a quarterback to succeed Tom Brady?
I have a genius take that you're going to hear about right after this commercial break, Toby.
All right. We'll hold that off on that. Like it or not, Paul, Giancarlo Stanton, 0 for 5 strikeouts in his first Yankees home game, booed despite the fact that the team was rolling.
Don't mind me while I suppress my church laugh. welcome to the Bronx, right? And I guess everybody pays an enormous amount to enter into Yankee Stadium, so they have the right to do what they want within a certain boundary, and that works in that situation. But watching that game and seeing breath coming out of the players because it was, what was the temperature, and the field was covered in snow. As a Red Sox fan, I probably don't like it because it's going to motivate him at some point, and that's going to have a equal and opposite reaction at the wrong time.
It feels like people may have slightly unrealistic expectations. I know 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts is bad, but come on now, we're 5 games into the year.
Right? Absolutely. I feel the same way. I mean, he's obviously a very successful guy, all-star multiple times, reigning National League MVP.
He hit 2 home runs on opening day.
That's also true.
Like
I
36 hours before that. If you're
I
a Yankees fan, you should be embarrassed by the people in Yankee Stadium. What are you doing?
But what are you going to do? I mean, that's how obviously some people feel. I get it. Like you said, Toby, I think there's unrealistic expectations that people have attached to him. But it's New York. You're going to get what you're going to get, and he got booed.
Just a guess. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
I hope not. Final thoughts when we come back in the Rochester press box.
Here is the MVP Experience Stat of the Week, brought to you by Sport Clips, where it's good to be a guy. No appointment ever needed.
Dunkin' iced coffees are $2 from 2 to 6 p.m. That's right, all sizes, all freshly brewed, all with that signature smooth Dunkin' taste. Power up with a Dunkin' iced coffee for $2. America runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. Unfinished business, presented by Dunkin' Donuts. Pat, you're up.
Toby was talking a second ago. Did the Patriots get that extra first-round pick to try and move up and get the heir apparent to Tom Brady? Even maybe move ahead of the Bills. And Bills fans are flipping out this week. What if the Patriots get ahead of Buffalo and take one of these quarterback prospects? Hey, so I'm supposed to be worried about the New England Patriots burning 2 first-round picks and trading away a career wide receiver so they could get rid of Tom Brady? No, please, don't do that. Listen, you've got at best 50-50 odds of hitting on a legitimate career starting quarterback. There is no way there is a quarterback in this draft that is even close to as talented as Tom Brady was. In fact, there has not been a quarterback in the history of the league as close to as talented as Tom Brady was. I'll put it this way. If Buffalo got their pick of a quarterback and the Patriots said, we'll take that quarterback and get rid of Brady within the next 2 years, I would take that in a second. Give them the choice of any quarterback they want, because as soon as that quarterback is taken, the clock has started. You got 4 years before you have to play him again, which means Brady has a maximum of 2 left. I'm spitting all over the place. I'm fired up. Do not worry, Bills fans. If they take a quarterback, it means Brady's gone. And that's the best news we've heard.
I left my umbrella in the car. I'm really disappointed
You
right
take
now.
my spit. You enjoy it.
Paul.
Stop the madness. A goat is a grazing animal that sometimes is on a mountain. A goat should not be greatest of all time. To wake up this morning to Twitter world talking about Didi Gregorius being the GOAT. I'm not a Yankee fan, but I think there was a shortstop before him that was pretty good, and not to mention a lot of other Yankees that were pretty good. Can we stop diminishing that term and leave it to greatest of all time and put away the GOAT forever?
Welcome to Twitter, where everyone thinks something and types it and is just reactionary to the ultimate, right?
Yeah.
It's just a product of the generation.
Sure.
Her generation.
Don't blame it on me. This is not my mess.
Sweaters think they're so cool.
I don't even know what to say to that. At least my sweater fits. Anyways. All right, so the NFL draft will be at the end of the month. It's a couple of weeks away, and we know that this is always a big deal. Of course, it sets the tone for the entire NFL season. Here's the thing. The mock drafts, they gotta stop. There's ESPN mock drafts, there's CBS, there's NFL networks. My dad has a mock draft. It is a mockery. It's a chain reaction. You don't know how the draft will actually play out until it's actually playing out. There's so many things. Is a team going to draft based on their need? What about best available player? What's the actual draft order going to be? We have no idea. So when people put all this attention and all this detail and really go off these mock drafts, it's infuriating because no one knows.
To counter your mock draft, ESPN did release its top 25 college basketball rankings for next year.
I saw that.
Within
Way
an hour.
too early.
Within an hour.
Yeah.
Remember how you said you thought the Get Off Your Lawn crew was gone? And then in comes Jenna. You guys having fun with mock drafts? Hey, don't get out of here. Draft is
I'm
the
just
real
saying,
draft.
they pollute the timeline. There's literally, I can't even begin to explain how much it annoys me because no one knows.
There's nothing else to do between the last minute
So
of the
why do we have
Super
to
Bowl.
speculate about everything?
Because that's all we do about everything. This show
That's-
has been a half an hour of speculation. You're a mockery. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying, oh, this team's gonna pick this person, this team's gonna pick that person. I'm not saying that.
I believe I've lost control of the table.
She called me fat. I got angry. I'm sorry.
Like you haven't heard that before. I'm kidding. Not really.
On that note, Pat, thanks for being here. Are you okay?
It was fun until like 15 seconds ago.
Jenna, I'll see you in a little while.
Always a pleasure.
See you in a little bit. And Paul, thanks for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the show.
More fun than I should be allowed.
And I hope you enjoyed the show. This has been the Rochester Press Box.